it was gasoline and a match, two combustible personalities feeding off each other until the flames became too big for either of them to put out.
If hip-hop drama were an Olympic sport, some people would compete, but Chrisean rock would be accused of rewriting the rulebook, flipping the stadium, and go and live during the medal ceremony. Because when fans say most chaotic saga in hip-hop, they're not whispering, they're yelling it through Wi-Fi routers and cracked phone screens. Every time the internet thinks things are finally calming down, boom, another viral moment drops like a surprise album nobody emotionally prepared for. We're talking headline after headline. Livestream after livestream, moment after moment. That makes reality TV look like a quiet book club with snacks. This isn't just controversy, this is controversy with DLC, bonus chapters, and director's commentary. Supporters call it authenticity. Critics call it turbulence. The algorithm calls it dinner. From viral clips to relationship explosions to internet melting confrontations, fans say this saga runs on jet fuel and broken speed limits. And today we're opening the vault and walking through the wildest moments that built this reputation, the reactions, the outrage, the memes, the loyalty, the backlash, all of it. Because whether you're cheering, questioning, or just watching with popcorn and concern, one thing is certain. The internet doesn't crown people quietly anymore. It builds digital roller coasters around them and sells popcorn. And when fans say Chrisean rock has one of the wildest public storylines in modern hip-hop culture, they're not talking about one viral clip. They're talking about a whole cinematic universe made of headlines, live streams, reaction videos, and enough comment section debates to power a small country. This isn't just celebrity coverage. This is a 24/7 unscripted series where the algorithm is the director and the audience thinks it's on the writing team. The reputation didn't appear overnight like a magic trick. It built moment by moment, clip by clip, post by post. One raw viral appearance turns heads, a heated exchange lights up timelines, a chaotic livestream moment spreads like wildfire. Then suddenly every blog, every reaction channel, and every group chat is tracking updates like storm radar. That's when a personality stops being just an artist in the public eye and becomes what the internet calls an ongoing situation. Supporters call it authenticity turned all the way up. Critics call it turbulence with a Wi-Fi connection. Spectators call it better than cable. And the algorithm calls it premium engagement fuel. What separates a normal celebrity controversy from a full saga is repetition plus unpredictability. Not just one trending moment, a pattern of moments that feel unscripted, emotional, and impossible to fully predict. The internet doesn't just watch unpredictability, it binge watches it. People refresh pages like they're checking exam results. What happened now becomes a daily greeting. Early viral exposure played a huge role. Reality-style appearances, emotionally charged interactions, and headline-grabbing scenes introduced audiences to a personality that didn't feel filtered through 10 layers of media polish. That rawness attracted fans fast, and also attracted critics just as fast, because the internet loves extremes. Calm doesn't trend, combustion does. Relationship drama added rocket boosters to the narrative. Highly visible romance mixed with public conflict is like jet fuel for online attention. Every interaction became a headline candidate. Every disagreement clip became a debate topic. Every reunion rumor became a trending prediction. Social media turned into a relationship analysis lab run by people with zero licenses and maximum confidence. Viewers didn't just watch, they formed teams. Loyal defenders, harsh critics, concerned observers, exhausted but still watching participants. I've seen less emotional investment in championship sports finals. Comment sections read like courtroom closings written by people typing with their thumbs at dangerous speeds. Then came the live stream factor, the most unpredictable invention since reality television met unlimited bandwidth. Live streams are digital fireworks factories. You never know which spark becomes the explosion. No edits, no delay, no let's redo that take. Just raw broadcast energy going straight to millions of pockets. In the livestream era, Moments that might once have stayed private now go public instantly. One sentence becomes 10 headlines, one reaction becomes 50 commentary videos, one emotional outburst becomes 1,000 stitch clips with dramatic captions. Supporters say that level of openness feels real. Critics say it feels risky. The algorithm says, please continue. The meme ecosystem joined early too, and once meme culture adopts a storyline, it becomes immortal. Reaction faces, quote screenshots, remix edits, parody posters, the internet turns moments into artifacts. Memes are basically digital fossils of chaos, long after the original clip fades. The meme keeps walking around like it pays rent there. Reaction creators build entire breakdown. Timelines. Who said what? When they said it? What happened before they said it? What they might have meant when they said it? I've seen investigative documentaries with less chart work. When YouTube analysts start drawing arrows between screenshots, you know the saga has entered mythology status. Another key ingredient in the wild saga label is emotional volatility on camera. Calm interviews don't go viral. Controlled statements don't get remixed. Big emotions do, loud reactions do, sudden shifts do. The internet treats emotional unpredictability like blockbuster cinema. The bigger the swing, the bigger the share. Count that, but here's the twist. The same moments that attract criticism also build fierce loyalty. Some fans connect deeply with unfiltered expression. They see flaws and fire and say, that's human. They see mistakes and say, that's growth in progress. To them, the chaos label isn't an insult. It's proof of realness in a polished industry. Meanwhile, critics argue that repeated public blowups create a cycle where drama overshadows talent and headlines. Trend music. That debate, authenticity versus instability, became a recurring theme in public discussion. And once a debate becomes recurring, the algorithm promotes it like a favorite child. Every new trending clip added another layer to the reputation narrative. Not always equal in intensity, but enough to keep the storyline alive. Momentum became identity. People stopped asking, what happened? And started asking, what happened this time? That shift is important, because when the audience expects turbulence, even small moments feel like previews of bigger storms. Anticipation becomes part of the brand story, even when the person at the center didn't design it that way. Public image sometimes gets built by reaction more than intention. And let's be honest, internet culture exaggerates everything. A spark becomes a wildfire, a moment becomes a pattern becomes a label, labels become headlines, headlines become history, even when the full context is still tying its shoes. Right now, what we're watching isn't just personality, it's a perception machine running at full speed. Fans, critics, commentators, meme creators, and reaction channels all feeding the narrative at once. A multi-camera drama where nobody fully agrees on the script, but everybody keeps watching anyway. And if you think this reputation formed from just one category of moment, not even close. The next layer of this saga is where celebrity reactions, internet outrage cycles, and meme warfare collide, and that's where the chaos label goes from nickname to legend. Now once a public storyline reaches critical mass, it stops being just news and turns into spectator sport. That's exactly where this saga leveled up, when the reactions became just as viral as the moments themselves. Because at this stage, it's no longer about what happened, it's about who reacted, how loud they reacted, and whether they used a shocked thumbnail face while doing it. Commentary channels multiplied overnight like drama themes startup companies. Everyone had a breakdown, a timeline, a deep dive, a truth revealed, and at least 3 red arrows pointing at screenshots. Some creators defended with passion, others criticized with fireworks. A few tried neutrality and got ignored. Like a terms and conditions page. Celebrity side comments started floating into the conversation too. Podcast mentions, interview questions, subtle shade, careful wording. When other industry names start circling a storyline without even needing to say full names, you know the narrative has reached cultural saturation. It's like when weather reporters name a storm. Suddenly it feels bigger. The meme economy upgraded to deluxe edition. Not just jokes, cinematic parody, fake streaming posters, mock documentary trailers. Previously on this saga edits. Somebody turned the timeline into a fake season recap, and honestly it had better pacing than some real shows. One meme. Creators add background music. The situation has officially entered legend territory. Outrage cycles began looping in waves. One clip trends, outrage spikes. A response trends, outrage shifts direction. A clarification trends, outrage argues about the clarification. Watching it felt like emotional ping pong played by caffeinated philosophers. Nobody agrees, everybody types faster. Fan communities became digital defense squads, loyalty posts, context threads, clip corrections, narrative pushback. Meanwhile, critics built evidence threads, pattern threads, and connect the dots threads that looked like conspiracy corkboards built out of retweets, too. Realities formed, both confident, both loud, both fully convinced they brought receipts. And this is where perception becomes performance, Because once cameras and phones are always present, every reaction becomes content, whether intended or not. A facial expression becomes a headline. A sentence becomes a movement. Tone becomes a trending topic. I've seen less scrutiny. On political debates, the phrase "wildest moment" started getting used by fans not just as criticism, but as branding shorthand. That's when you know a narrative has stuck. When even supporters use the same dramatic language as critics, just with different emotional flavor. Same headline, different interpretation. Reaction livestream panels turned into full digital roundtables, people talking over each other, quoting clips, replaying audio, pausing mid-sentence to read chat messages like courtroom exhibits. Half the time the panelists disagreed with each other more than with the topic. It was less discussion, more competitive interruption. Pop culture comparisons started flying like thrown confetti. People saying this saga has more twists than a long-running soap opera written by caffeine. Others comparing the unpredictability to plot turns in prestige TV dramas, except here the script updates early and nobody knows the writers. When your real-life narrative gets compared to 3 streaming series and a wrestling storyline, you've crossed into spectacle territory. Another escalation factor, remix culture. Clips don't just circulate anymore, they mutate. Edits, mashups, auto-tune versions, dramatic music overlays, slow zooms, fast cuts. Context sometimes survives the edit. Sometimes it goes on vacation and never returns, but the edit travels. Anyway, the outrage versus entertainment divide became obvious too. Some viewers watched with concern, others watched for spectacle. Some said, "This is serious." Others said, "This is content." Modern internet culture can't decide whether it's a courtroom or a theater, so it tries to be both and sells tickets. Media blogs amplified the cycle with headline stacking. Every update gets a headline. Every reaction gets a headline. Every denial gets a headline about the denial of the previous headline. It's headline recursion. Journalism meets echo chamber meets treadmill. What really supercharged the chaos label was unpredictability frequency. Not just intensity, frequency. When unpredictable moments happen close together, audiences stop seeing them as separate. They see a pattern, and once audiences believe there's a pattern, they narrate it like a documentary voiceover in their own heads. But here's the irony twist. Unpredictability is also what keeps audiences emotionally invested. People complain about the turbulence and then refresh for updates. It's like saying you hate roller coasters while buying a season pass. Attention contradicts opinion every single day online. Meanwhile, defenders kept emphasizing talent, hustle, and resilience, arguing that viral controversy often overshadows professional work unfairly. Critics argued the opposite, that public behavior shapes public brand. That debate became its own mini-series running parallel to the main one. Algorithmically, this is prime fuel. Debate plus emotion plus identity equals distribution, calm. Agreement gets a handshake. Heated disagreement gets a spotlight and theme music. Platforms don't pick sides, they pick engagement. And right when the reaction ecosystem looked fully saturated, when it felt like every possible take had already been taken, new angles kept appearing, new interpretations, new reactions, new media reactions reacting to reactions. Commentary became layered like a 7-tier cake made of opinions and WI-V. At this stage of a saga, the story stops being about single events and starts being about long-term image. Reputation gravity kicks in. Every new moment gets interpreted through the existing label, fair or unfair, because that's how narrative shortcuts work in public culture. And that shift from moment-based coverage to identity-based narrative is where the real consequences start forming, because Fallout season doesn't trend as fast as Chaos season, but it lasts longer. And that's where the next chapter hits, when perception starts affecting opportunities, relationships, and legacy talk. Now this is the phase most viewers don't think about when they're busy refreshing timelines, the aftershock era. Because viral chaos is loud, flashy, and addictive, but the fallout is quieter, slower, and way more powerful. This is where the narrative stops being just trending content and starts becoming long-term. Reputation architecture and whether fans cheer it or critics warn about it, the impact phase is always where the real story hides. Public perception is like digital cement. At first it's wet, flexible, shapeable, debatable. But once enough opinions harden at the same time, it sets, and trying to reshape it later is like remodeling a building with a spoon, possible, but exhausting and messy. When audiences repeat the same label often enough, it sticks like gum to a sneaker. You can already see how the saga label affects interpretation. Every new clip gets judged faster. Every statement gets analyzed harder. Every emotional moment gets replayed like game footage. When a reputation for unpredictability forms, even normal behavior gets treated like suspicious activity. Calm becomes the calm before something. Silence becomes strategic. Smiling becomes symbolic. According to the internet, nothing is just nothing anymore. Opportunity conversations start changing to, and this part happens mostly off camera. Collaborations become more calculated. Partnerships get more cautious. Invitations sometimes arrive with question marks instead of exclamation points. Not always, but enough that industry watchers start whispering about risk versus reach. In entertainment economics, attention is valuable, but predictability is comfortable. And comfort pays invoices. But here's where the plot twist lies. Controversy gravity cuts both ways. The same volatility that scares some partners attracts others. Some platforms want safe, others want loud. Some brands want stability, others want virality with fireworks. There are executives who avoid turbulence and others who invest in it like high-risk stock with explosive upside. Chaos isn't always rejected. Sometimes it's monetized. Fan loyalty often intensifies during backlash cycles too. Supporters rally harder. Defense gets louder. Narratives of resilience and unfair targeting emerge to loyal audiences. Criticism feels like attack, and defense becomes identity. That's how fan bases turn from viewers into digital armies armed with screenshots and fast typing speed. Critics, meanwhile, sharpen their arguments just as strongly. They talk about patterns, responsibility, image impact, and long-term consequences. So now you don't just have a celebrity storyline, you have a philosophical debate running alongside it. Authenticity versus accountability, rawness versus restraint, expression versus control. It becomes cultural commentary, not just celebrity gossip. Media framing plays a huge role in this stage. Headlines start using summary language, not single event wording, but pattern wording, known for, often involved in, regularly trends for. That shift matters. It turns moments into identity descriptors, and once descriptors repeat, they become shorthand. Relationship dynamics get interpreted through that same lens. Every public interaction becomes symbolic. If things look good, it's called surprising. If things look tense, it's called expected. Narrative Gravity bends interpretation like light around a planet. Context fights to survive, but labels travel faster. There's also the fatigue factor. Some viewers eventually step back and say, "This is too much." Not anger, exhaustion, drama saturation. When audiences feel overloaded, they don't always switch sides. They switch attention. And attention migration is the only true ending any online saga ever gets. But don't confuse fatigue with disappearance. Internet narratives don't die, they hibernate. One new viral moment, one unexpected collaboration, one surprising pivot, and the entire conversation wakes back up like it never slept. Digital memory is permanent, but digital focus is seasonal. Redemption arcs are another unpredictable variable. The same audiences that amplify chaos often celebrate transformation. Comeback stories perform incredibly well. Growth narratives spread fast. Reinvention is one of the internet's favorite genres. Today's controversy headline can become next year's turnaround documentary title. Public opinion isn't just volatile, it's recyclable. What makes this saga fascinating to observers is scale plus frequency plus visibility. Not just moments, repeated moments under constant cameras. In another era, half of these events might have stayed private. Today, everything has a lens, a timestamp, and a comment section jury. And let's be honest, the audience is part of the machine. Every share, every reaction, every debate fuels continuation. Viewers say they want calm eras, then binge the chaos arcs. The internet is the only place where people complain about drama while subscribing to it in HD. Right now, the narrative sits in that unresolved zone, where perception is loud. Conclusions are premature, and the next chapter hasn't revealed itself yet. That uncertainty keeps attention locked in. Cliffhangers are the strongest glue in digital storytelling, because the truth about modern celebrity sagas is simple. They don't end with resolution. They end with interruption. Something louder comes along. Attention shifts. Then one day, boom, the storyline resurfaces with new context and upgraded stakes. So when fans say this has been one of the wildest ongoing public storylines in hip-hop culture, they're not just reacting to single moments. They're reacting to narrative velocity, speed, scale, visibility, reaction intensity, cultural echo. If you made it all the way through this roller coaster without dropping your phone, congratulations! You officially survived another episode of Internet Chaos University. Tuition paid in attention. Graduation certificate printed in the comment section. Because let's be honest, this saga isn't just news anymore. It's a full-time spectator sport with overtime and bonus rounds. Now I want your verdict. Not the quiet one, the loud one. Drop your take in the comments right now. Is this the wildest ongoing saga in hip-hop culture? Or is the internet just pouring rocket fuel on every spark? Bring your theories, your hot takes, your respectful disagreements, and your "I saw this coming 6 months ago" speeches. The comment section is open court and the jury is fully caffeinated. Hit that like button like it just leaked your group chat. Don't tap it, strike it with purpose. Every like tells the algorithm you want more deep dives, more breakdowns, more scandal autopsies, and more headline hurricanes. This is how we keep the chaos documented properly. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't show up late to the next explosion asking, "Wait, what happened around here?" Scandals don't trickle. They drop like surprise albums at midnight. One alert and you're front row again. Share this with that friend who says they don't follow drama but somehow knows every detail. Yes, that undercover timeline detective. Expose them gently and tag them boldly. More breakdowns coming, more receipts pending, more reputations shaking. Because in this arena, fame isn't calm. It's combustible. Stay watching, stay sharp. And remember, the spotlight is bright, but the meltdown is brighter. Welcome to Celeb Insanity.